All humans, rich, poor, motivated, unmotivated, productive, unproductive, disciplined or undisciplined, all suffer with the same inherent issue. We're too optimistic with our time. We have this planning fallacy built into our system that makes us think we can fill our days with tons of tasks that realistically we can't actually do with the time we have to do them. We set ourselves tasks that are monstrous and huge and unrealistic to complete because they simply take too long. This leaves us feeling guilty at the end of the day, with a productivity debt that rolls over to the next day forthcoming, and it leaves us worse off mentally and productively because we simply set ourselves too much to do. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down this planning fallacy, this time optimism, and I'm going to be giving you actionable steps to solve this problem and make sure this inherent flaw becomes one of your productive strengths. Let's get into it. Hello, I'm Dylan, I'm 18 and I coach unproductive people to turn productive once and for all, as I personally went on a productivity journey myself with over 5,000 hours or 210 days straight wasted on Call of Duty and other such video games. I had aspirations for business, for education, for doing well in school and improving myself via personal development, but I simply couldn't make it happen because I was stuck in a productive rut. Felt bad, but I turned it round and now I effortlessly and easily produce through large amounts of my work, for my business, for my education and for my personal development goals, and I'm helping others do the same with this YouTube channel where I give actionable science-based tactics on how to improve your productivity, your life in general. If that sounds interesting, subscribe. And along the way of turning from lazy to productive, I noticed myself falling into this inherent issue and problem, the planning fallacy. You have a bit of hype the night before. When you're planning the day forthcoming, you really feel like you can do everything. You feel invincible. So you set your future self, your 24-hour self, a massive to-do list full of things that you think you can complete because you're simply far too optimistic. You think you have all the time in the world, all of the discipline, all of the distraction-free opportunity to complete the task you're setting yourself, but simply in the real world, in the realistic view of the world, that is completely illogical and an illusion that you're tricking yourself into, and you're also putting yourself in a position to gain productivity debt. This is a concept of where you have a to-do list full of tasks and say you complete 50-60% of the task, that other 40% then therefore in most cases rolls over to the next day, and then you have an even longer to-do list because you have all the tasks that you need to do the next day anyways, and then the other 40% of the task that you didn't complete the day before. This leaves you in a productivity debt, in an impossible scenario and an ever-growing to-do list that leaves you feel guilty, trapped, and puts you in a position to be more prone to procrastination because the task is simply monstrous. When you look at it and it's so long and you have 15-20 tasks to do in one single day, then you feel less motivated to do it because it simply feels too big to tackle. And that's the worst position to be in. The position where procrastination comes in at most is when you are swamped with tasks. You have too much pressure, too much applied force on you completing the tasks, and then you will be least productive because you simply are swamped with the things you've set yourself. So how can we counter this time fallacy? How can we counter this planning fallacy and time optimism and be realistic with what we're setting ourselves during the day? And the biggest advantage and the biggest actionable step in this video is to time audit, is to time the tasks that you are setting yourself to make a realistic list of what you can actually complete because you know how long everything takes. For example, for this YouTube channel, I know exactly how long it takes to record a video, to edit a video, and to make a thumbnail. It's about 13 minutes to record a video, it takes me about an hour and a half to edit a video, and then it takes me about 32 minutes on average to make a thumbnail for the video. And because I know these figures, because I know it on average takes me around 2 hours and 15 minutes to record, edit, and make a thumbnail for the video to post it, then I know I can set myself that task during the day because I can physiologically complete it. Whereas if it did take me 4 hours to edit a video and I only had 5 hours of productive time to do the work and I had other stuff to do, then it would be implausible and illogical for me to set myself that task because I physiologically cannot do it with the time boundaries I have during the day. therefore leaving myself in this feeling of guilt, disappointment, because I haven't done what I've said I'm going to do. I feel unmotivated, I feel unproductive, I feel undriven because I've simply set myself something I can't do. And that's not a good position to be in, because then your self-image gets tarnished. You start seeing yourself as someone who's not productive because you haven't completed the task you set yourself. That rolls over to the next day and the next day and the next day until you have weeks and weeks and months where you're not getting anything done and you feel like you're losing and failing at life. So if you want to avoid that, you need to time audit. And don't just time audit the tasks, time audit your day. So how long you take in the shower, how long you cook lunch, how long you're in college, in university, etc. How long you're at your job, how long you're replying to emails, how long you're replying to messages, how long you spend on your phone, on Instagram, scrolling on reels that aren't progressing you in life. How long does everything take during the day? Because then you allocate the free time to the tasks you need to do. Because realistically, if you are taking 15 minutes in the shower, 30 minutes to cook food, 30 minutes to eat the food, then you know there's on average 1 hour 15 taken away from your life. And then you can either streamline it, cut the shower time down to 5 minutes, cut the food down time to 30 minutes in total, and start meal prepping and planning your meals during the week to save time and reallocate the time to the work you need to be doing. Or you can actually be realistic with the task you're setting yourself, because if you know you are spending 4 hours a day completely wasted and you only have another 4 hours allocated, therefore you won't set yourself 8 hours of work because you simply know you can't fit it in during the day. Time audit how long the things take you, and time audit your life, and then you can realistically set yourself task objectives during the day to make sure you get it done. The second actionable step is to use the 1.5x rule. Studies show that if you set yourself a task and you estimate how long the task is going to take, you should times it by 1.5x. This is to account for distractions, for fatigue, for context switching and cognitive load errors. And it means that you're actually realistic, because if you time audit one of your tasks and you do it super quick, super efficiently, you're fasted, you just got back from the gym, you're so comprehensive and efficient in doing that specific task on that specific day, then you set an unrealistic objective and you're again falling into this time fallacy, this time optimism, and then when you do it again and you take an hour and a half instead of 30 minutes like you did the day before, you have this disparity, you have this productivity debt, you have this negative feeling and this feeling of failure that you're trying to avoid with this video. So you need to times it by 1.5 to 2x, and then you'll have the realistic, the objective truth of how long the task is actually going to take you when you take into account the interruptions, etc. And if you complete the task before that time is done, before the 1.5x has ticked over to 0, then you have spare time. You have time that you can be putting into other things or just taking a break from your work. It's a win-win. The third actionable step in this video is to make sure you implement it into a set routine. See, when you understand how much work you can do during the day, you then have the ability, the opportunity to plan your ideal day. You know exactly what you can do on a maximally productive day based on the amount of time you have during the day to do the tasks. So then you can set a routine in place to make sure you're maximally consistent in completing the task you set yourself. So you know what you can set, and then you set it in a specific routine, your ideal day plan every single day to make sure you hit it. And how do you do this? So in your head, or on a bit of paper, or in the app that I've just finished coding specifically for people like you to plan your day, set routine, and make sure you plan once and remain consistent during your days, weeks, months, and years to live a productive life. If that sounds interesting, check it out in the top link in the description. But close your eyes, write down, take note on what your ideal productive day looks like. You imagine everything goes smoothly. How long did you spend in the gym? How long did you spend working? What time did you wake up? What time did you go to bed? What foods did you eat? What work did you do during the day? And how do you feel at the end? And then deduct 15%, because that's realistic. If you have a day that's maximally productive and you want to be consistent in hitting it every single day, minus 15%, and that is your ideal productive day. If everything runs smoothly, that is the day that you want to have. That is the day you want to enact, and that's the day you should want to be consistent in completing day to day. And the advantage we have from this video, from time auditing, from the 1.5x rule, is that this is more realistic because we're not falling into this inherent trap of the time fallacy. But I hope you found this useful. Time audit, 1.5x rule, and make it into a routine so you're actually consistent in completing the task you set yourself. And if you need more help from me, if you want my personal one-to-one help, I will hold your hand through the trials and tribulations of productivity with the top link in the description. You'll be taken to my 30-day productivity performance plan in which I'm changing lives forever. Within that 30 days, I'm guaranteeing you 20 out of 30 days productive, or I'll work with you 100% for free until you get that result. It's risk-free productivity on your side. You'll have my exclusive productivity strategies, my personal phone numbers so I can help you every single day you need me. You'll get an award-winning physical planner, the app that I spoke about earlier, and everything you need to turn productive. Any problem you have with procrastination, productivity, or the drive you have to complete the work, I will solve within that 30 days. And if it sounds interesting, check it out, and I'll see you there. Check out this playlist with 150 guides to turn productive if you need more help. But thanks for watching.